NBA Finals is here. We've got young teams, small markets. Will anybody watch? And if you were GM, which young star would you take first in your draft? That and more next on Goode Sports. Thanks for joining us. I'm Randy Good, and as always, we are joined alongside Trent Sneed. Cameron's out today, but we got Drew behind the scenes welcoming us as well. We've been gone for a few weeks, but thank you guys for staying tuned. We did put up a short or two in the meantime. Thank you guys for all the support during that. Please hit that subscribe button. It really does make a difference. More and more people get it with the algorithm, so please hit that. It really supports. It's encouraging to us, and we really appreciate all the support, so please do that. Also, please make comments. We're going to have different topics today, and if you agree, disagree, please put what you feel on there because we love to hear that, and sometimes we can go through and maybe we'll comment back, which is always nice to do. So anyway, what we want to first get started, we're here. It's now time. The NBA Finals is actually here. Trent, I want to start off, and let's just go for it right now. Who do you have winning the Finals? Thunder, Pacers, two small market teams. What are you thinking? Who's going to win?
This is an easy question.
I think it might be.
Go Pacers.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going Pacers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tell me why.
Okay.
Tell me why. I like this.
So you were all about the Thunder.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
No, that's good. This is good.
No,
I like
Here's the thing. Everyone on the Pacers is so likable.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And they had that. Do you remember the All-Star game last year? Not this year. Last year before that. They had like the Pacers like hosted. They had Indiana hosted.
Okay.
And like the whole Pacers team was a part of it.
Yeah.
And it was just a lot of fun.
Yes.
And you could tell that like there's some really good team camaraderie around there.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be an uphill battle.
Yep.
You can't touch SGA. Actually, you can't even not touch him.
No, he's actually shooting free throws right now, and the game starts tomorrow. So he's at the line shooting 2.
What do you think his practice on free throws looks like? You know, or do you think he gets enough practice in game?
What I want to know with guys like SGA, do they actually? How much time do they spend driving, making contact, like practicing contact?
Yeah.
Not just trying to make it through contact, but like the drawing it and by yourself. How do you do that? Do you step, boom, shimmy, shot? You know, what do you?
Hey Drew, can you clip that? Just the voice recording, please.
I just want to know. I mean, I've always seen this in the NBA where people will go and they'll drive. Even back in the old days, they'll drive, and as they're shooting, they go, You know, they're always trying to encourage the ref to do it. So he's just perfected it to an art.
No, and actually, my comment maybe came off disrespectful towards his game, but I actually mean that in a compliment. I mean, he obviously has put a lot of effort into getting good at getting fouls called.
Yes.
And actually, you know, the Knicks were super upset about the way he does it in some of them. Like, you can tell he practices this stuff. Arm hooks, that
I would love to just watch him in the gym by himself, like just taking air fouls.
Yeah.
But
I just think the Pacers are a better, well-rounded team.
Okay.
I think the main struggle the Pacers are going to have is the Thunder play a lot of small ball. Mm-hmm. And I highly doubt that they're going to get away with running all their bigs all the time. I don't know. It's going to be weird. I mean, they play small ball where like they even pull Chet Holmgren out of the game a lot of times and go even smaller than that. So I'm just not really sure. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. I think in my prediction, OKC is going to win the first game.
Okay, you got. Okay, let's go through them. Let's see. Okay, game 1.
Okay, I got.
I'm
OKC.
going. You got OKC. I'm agreeing with you on that.
Okay.
Okay, game 2.
Okay, that's where I got the Pacers.
That's where the series changes.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I'm actually going to get back-to-back Pacers.
Oh.
Yep.
2-1 back in Indiana. Okay.
But I think the OKC's smart enough for game 4 to come back with maybe a different game plan. I think the Pacers are going to make a game plan off of game 1. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to ride that victory at home and then go to game 3's at home, right? Indiana, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So I think they're going to ride that momentum off of game 2, win game 3. OKC's going to go back home, re-game plan with a little bit extra longer break, and then they're going to come out win that one. So we're going to be at 2-2.
Well, I believe game 3 and 4 will both be in Indiana.
Oh.
I think the first two are in Oklahoma, and then the next two are in Indiana.
Oh, okay.
So game 4, who do you have? You're up 2-1 according to your.
Okay.
Do you think the Thunder on the road will come back and tie it?
So game 4. No, I'm just gonna go 3 Indiana.
Okay.
3 wins, so 3-1.
3-1.
Yep, and then I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna end it in game 7. So this is hard.
So Indiana's going to win on the road.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're gonna go 1 game on the road, 1 game at home, another game at home, and then they're gonna lose all the remaining, win in game 7.
Okay. All right. So you think, and what do you think is going to be the key in the series?
Oh, it's easily SJ. Anything to do with SJ.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can play him good enough to win, that's the only key.
Yeah.
That OKC team. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some studs on that team.
Yeah.
But they're all young, and they haven't faced adversity. And I think this Pacers team is at least. I think they're more ready for adversity. I think they have some really good, strong team camaraderie. I don't think there's one necessarily wolf in that pack, which means all of them kind of jointly lead, which in adversity is helpful. So I don't know. I think that if you take away SJ, you take away the way OKC can win this game or these games.
I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are.
Okay.
I love the fact that you took the Pacers because that's going to make me feel a whole lot better. I think it's been great. Halliburton got his little bounce, got the win. He's a very good player. His dad, we'll see where he is sitting and if he's able to chill a little bit. But I think it's been a good story. Turner, Siakam, I mean, they have a good little team. I think the Thunder's going to win this in 5. I think this is going to be a quick series. I could totally be wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong often. I'm wrong often. But what I've seen with the Thunder is their defense is so good. Alex Caruso plays some lockdown.
They put him at the 5 sometimes.
I know he is a stud defender. You got Chet. You've got some height. You've got SGA is going to average 15 free throws a game, 14, 15 free throws a game.
56 free throws a game.
Okay. So, I mean, that's a huge thing. It's not just that they're getting free shots, is you're getting people in foul trouble.
Yeah.
And when somebody is so good at doing that, you're going to go and do switches, and you're going to try to get Halliburton in foul trouble, and you're getting your key players. And that's what he goes after. That's what's so good about being somebody that draws fouls, is when you're good at it, you get the right people to foul you.
Yeah.
And then the game changes. So I think Indiana's been fortunate to win a few series. They've done really good, but I just think the thing's going to go quickly. I don't think it's going to last as long as maybe people would like. I'm excited for both of them. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the series goes long because it's hard to watch if you're up 3-0. You know, even 2-0, you start to go, uh-oh, here we go. So hopefully Indiana ideally could win game 1. You know,
I don't know. That's going to be a stretch.
But you've got them in 7. I've got the Thunder in 5. That's what I think.
All I would say is I think the Thunder have 5 really talented players.
Yeah.
I think the Pacers have more than that.
You think the Pacers are deeper than the Thunder?
Yes.
Okay.
I think if you exclude one of their players in the starting 5, I think that OKC has one really good guy off the bench, which is Alex Caruso. But if you go to the Pacers, if you go look at the Pacers roster, I mean, each one of their starting 5 is averaging 20 or double digits.
Yeah,
every game.
Well,
and then you have Obi coming off the bench. You have Thomas Bryant coming off the bench. I mean, there's some studs. There's some studs coming off the bench for him.
Well, we'll see. I hope you're right. I don't know. Okay. Well, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is this. I think I'm melancholy on this whole thing.
Okay.
These teams do not excite me at all. The Thunder I picked before the series before the playoffs to win it all. That wasn't like an earth-shadowing thing because they had the great record.
Yeah. 2
small market teams. My question for you, is that good or is it bad for the NBA? And are people going to watch this? Because I'm telling you, for me, I know SGA is great, and Halliburton's played really well. I am just not excited about this series at all. The Thunder help a little bit. I mean, it could have been worse if this would have been like Denver.
Yeah.
Jokic is not exactly an eye draw. So as has been mentioned before, but do you think this is good for the NBA that small market teams are in there? Do you think we'll have good ratings, or do you think this is bad?
I think that both teams don't have extremely exciting players.
No.
I think SGA, as good as he is, he's pretty boring to watch.
Yeah.
And I think Tyrese Halliburton, as good as he is, he's pretty boring to watch.
Yeah.
There's not a Steph Curry who's going to light you up from deep.
No.
There's not a LeBron James who's going to dunk on every player he can. There's not a Russell Westbrook who's jumping from the 3-point line.
An Anthony Edwards that has just that charisma.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
I know.
It's just they're not very exciting players. But I do want to preference this. Is it good for the league?
Yeah.
I think it's good for some of the league.
Okay.
I think first of all, I will state this. A lot of finals championships we've had in the past maybe weren't exciting the first time we saw them.
Yeah.
But it's the OKC going back maybe next year. Or, let's say OKC goes on the run for the next 2-3 years. That's exciting. That's good for the league.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And maybe the first matchup isn't the exciting one, but the second one where they're going back to back, then that's the exciting one. You know?
Yep.
You can build momentum off it.
Yep.
And I will say, this is kind of the dog bone that's being hung out in front of the rest of the league, right?
Yeah.
All those other small market teams that, we can't do it. We can't pay the overhead or the extra money tax to get these players over here. They're going to be looking at this going, okay, well, there's not an excuse. We just need to have the right people in the right chairs to make this happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at the Thunder, what they've done. They're a small market team that is impressive. And they have a chance to go on a little run here. Now, they're young. They will have to start paying some players. But they went through, and they're the ones that got Durant.
Mm-hmm.
They got Russell Westbrook.
Yep.
They got
James Harden.
Skippity dippity dippity do Harden. I mean, they got all those guys, and then they lost them all and have refound themselves
They
at
they had Paul George at one point.
Paul George. I mean, so you look and now they've just told. Now the Paul George has helped them get everybody back.
Yeah.
By being traded. I mean, it shows with a good GM, even in a small market, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time, but they've reinvented themselves twice. Now I heard something on another podcast that somebody said if the Thunder win, is SGA as of right now the best Thunder player of all time?
No.
That's insane.
No.
Isn't that insane?
No.
Kevin Durant is absolutely. I mean, you can argue more than that is ahead of him. The SGA is just getting started.
Yeah.
As maybe he can whatever. Kevin Durant, we're talking top 20 player of all time.
Yeah.
So
and just because Kevin Durant doesn't have a championship, with the Thunder,
yeah, yep,
doesn't mean he wasn't the best overall player.
No, he was insane.
And let's be clear, this is Kevin Durant that had to play in a league that had LeBron James.
Yeah,
if LeBron's not in Miami,
yes,
with the big three at that time,
yeah,
they're winning that championship.
Yeah,
easy. That finals,
yeah.
They're going to win that.
And James Harden was horrifically bad in that too.
Yeah. Which he wasn't.
That wasn't Durant.
He was a sixth man at the time.
He was. He just missed. He just shot horribly.
But he was still a huge part of the team.
Oh yeah. No, there's no doubt about it. That Miami team. I mean, you're looking. I heard Dwayne Wade talk about it, and he said he turned the TV off when the Lakers won the championship against the Celtics, and he was pissed. Mm-hmm. And he called and talked to LeBron right then. And it was like, I'm tired of watching this. He said, when because the Lakers got Powell, he says, we got to do something.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I must say, though, as a Miami Heat fan, man, that was a glorious 4 years.
How you guys didn't win more, actually, was surprising.
So stupid.
Yeah. I didn't like the way it started. Not 1, not 2, not 3. But they did get a couple. So, good for them. All right. So, next. I talked about this in a short I did a little bit ago, but I wanted to hear your opinion. If you were a GM, okay, you're a GM, and these are the players on the board, you can pick them. I'm talking young stars.
Okay.
Jalen Brunson, Halliburton, SGA, Luka, Anthony Edwards. Who's your number one pick?
This is the easiest pick of all time.
And you're going to rate them all, though.
It's not even close.
So you got to rate them all.
I'm taking Anthony Edwards first.
You take Anthony Edwards first, okay?
I just ensured that my team not only had a way to compete, but I also just ensured that we're going to sell tickets.
That's true. Okay.
If you own a franchise, you got to first think about competing, and you second think about selling tickets. That's how the Lakers did it back in the day, and that's what you got to do, okay?
Yeah, that's good. I like that pick.
Anthony Edwards. Do I know the history of what they've done so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you look at their background, even though, you just pretend that was all in college.
Okay.
I'll go Anthony Edwards 1-2.
Okay.
You want me to go 2 first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to go Luka 2. I'm going 5 years. Okay, now, if this was a 10-year, I might do something different because I don't know if Luka is going to take care of his body for long enough. But for 5 more years, I'm taking Luka.
Yeah.
And I just think he is such a talented shooter and scorer, and he makes his teammates better.
Yeah.
Halliburton makes his teammates better, but doesn't score nearly at the same level.
No.
And SGA, he's going to make him. I mean, he does pass and stuff, but he's more about being a scorer.
Yeah.
So I would take Luka 2.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna fall right in suit.
2. Okay, so you're 3 then. I'll be 4.
Yeah.
You be 5.
The thing about Luka that I would say is different from the rest of these guys is this is the same Luka that took. I know. I mean, if we're going off the fact that I know that he took the Dallas Mavericks almost single-handedly
To the finals. And not even in great shape.
Yeah.
Without playing defense.
You can make an argument. Well, SGA is doing that right now. First of all, we don't know if he's going to win, which would be a difference maker in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, even if he does win, Luka didn't have Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
He didn't have half the guys.
Right.
I think this OKC Thunder team, while I don't think that they're stacked on the bench, I think they have one of the strongest starting fives in the league for sure.
Yeah.
Even if you remove SGA, this team makes the playoffs.
Yeah, I think if you rated all 10, though, OKC, I think they're far superior than what Dallas had.
If you remove Luka from the Mavericks in 2024,
they're not a playoff team.
They're not even a playoff team.
No.
Yeah. No. So that's the difference.
Yeah. Yep. So 2. Who do you have 3?
3.
SGA, Halliburton, Brunson.
Give me SGA.
SGA. I'd go the same thing. 6. Looks like we're on the same level. The next 4 and 5 are harder for me.
Yes, I would say this is probably the hardest too.
Halliburton, Brunson. So you have basically Halliburton is he comes down and he distributes. He gets everybody involved. In the last 2 minutes, I'd rather have Brunson.
Yeah.
Right? So it's almost like the LeBron James. Would you rather have LeBron James or a Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan, the last couple minutes, you'd want him.
Every time.
So doesn't mean they're, anyway. So I would rather have Jalen Brunson in the clutch. Halliburton maybe would make teammates better overall a little bit because he dishes. So what would you pick?
I would go Halliburton. This is the thing about Halliburton.
Yeah.
See, the issue with Brunson is I don't think he's got the it factor. I think his ceiling is lower than Halliburton. Mm-hmm. I think Brunson's floor is higher than Halliburton, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I think Brunson at the worst would be better than Halliburton at the worst.
Yeah.
But I think Halliburton has a higher ceiling. Yeah. Personally.
I think the first 3 are in a different class than the next 2.
Yes.
But all good. Okay, so then with these, if you're looking at this overall group of people, do you think the league is in good hands, or do you think the league is never going to be the same?
I think it has to change now.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a choice.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're not going to see LeBron make it back to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're going to see Steph Curry make it back to the finals.
Yeah.
I think if there was any chance for one of the quote-unquote old heads now, right, for them to make it back to the finals, I think this semifinals experience has told us it's not going to happen ever again. The way we saw Anthony Edwards single-handedly take out LeBron and Steph Curry in the playoffs.
Yep.
I think there's no way. I think that if it was going to happen, it was going to be this year. I think they can continue to play for the next 2 to 3 years. They can put together whatever team they want to for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
If that team does not consist of one of these 5 players,
Yeah.
they're not going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Or sorry, they're not winning a finals. The only way that LeBron wins a finals is if Luka takes them there.
Well, I think the only thing that one of those big, those older players is if they get like a Giannis and there's some crazy trade.
I still don't even think that's possible.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I don't see it. Like Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. Sadly, I think that roster has no chance.
Yeah.
I think the only way that roster has a chance is if they were to get a young star.
I think the NBA is in trouble. I think overall. I'm not saying nobody's ever going to watch it. I'm not saying that. I think the marketing campaign with LeBron and Steph has style. There's not a lot of like that guy's got style and charisma. I mean, Kobe had a bounce and a cocky, and Penny Hardaway back in the day. There was so many. There's not that.
Yeah,
right now.
but Anthony Edwards has that.
He's the one.
He's the one.
I totally agree with you.
But it's hard just to have the one.
But yeah, not all of these people have it.
Yeah.
And now if you had somebody in the East that was like that, and they could battle each other a few times, that would be something.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Edwards has it. I'm just not.
I mean, see it with the others. No.
No, Jokic isn't going to be a draw, especially the way the NBA's played. It's so different now.
Yeah.
It's centers that were fun to watch were like just slamming it down your throat, and it was with power. It was Shaq. Anyway, this is what made
the Golden State experience fun. It was seeing LeBron almost every time. That's what made it fun, right?
Yeah.
That's what gave you the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What made the Miami Heat experience fun was not just the teams they played, but the players they played. I mean, think about those teams. You had the Dallas Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
Who was shooting shots for that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
You had a whole pack of players that were fun to watch.
Yep.
You had Kevin Durant, who was at that time the freak of nature.
Yep.
Right. You had the San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan, Mr. Lunch Pail himself.
That was a boring team.
Yeah.
They were a boring team, but yeah. My problem and my concern for the NBA is I think they hurt themselves. They lost a lot of fans with just some of the decisions they made off the court. It had nothing to do with the NBA. Now they're paid. It's stupid money. There's a lot of money. There's ridiculous amounts of money, and now I'm making $1 million a week.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody listening here, probably 80% of the people that listen to a podcast will never make $1 million, and have it in the bank.
Yeah.
Okay. They might make $1 million if they add all their salaries together for 25 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Or 20 years, and it could be less depending on your salary. But after taxes, after you're spending stuff, saving money, it's so hard. They're making it a week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. You give a 18-year-old kid $200 million. How motivated are these people? Yeah. Any of them? I don't care who it is. It would be hard for me, for an average person to say, that's their first contract. I mean, now their first contract's lower, but with shoe contracts, they're making that. Then the second contract, it's like, well, $300, $400, $500 million contracts. I mean, and that's contracts. That's not endorsements.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So I think you got guys not playing, not trying, and then I don't know. You got to have something in you, Anthony Edwards. It's going to be hard. Anthony Edwards, this young guy, he's going to have $1 billion worth of earnings by the time he retires.
Oh, easy. Not even close.
With just the NBA contract.
It'll be more than $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
Now, if you think of if everybody
he can only play for the next 5 years.
Just stop and think. What would life change if you could just put $1 million in your bank right now?
Yeah.
Then think of doing that 999 more times, and then do it again, and you got your $1 billion. Then you say, "Oh crud! I forgot. I make more in endorsements."
Yeah.
And 10% interest by doing nothing. 10% interest off $1 billion. 10%. It's insane. I'm $100 million doing nothing. So is it hard to get up at 4 a.m? Yeah. I'm not afraid that I'm not getting my second contract because I right now have taken care of my generation, my next kid's generation, and they can all be ridiculous gamblers and lose bad, and they're still fine. So anyway, I think the NBA, unless they get some draft picks that have I don't think Cooper's going to be that. I mean, I think he's going to be a good player, but I don't know. He doesn't have that charisma. I don't know who's going to have it, but they're going to need it. I think they've got Anthony Edwards.
So
that's it. Luka is fun to watch, but
I just put in the old $1 billion if you were to get interest on that. For a low risk investment, you're looking at $20 to $30 million a year just in the interest.
That's a low interest.
Yeah,
that's a CD.
Yeah,
that's a no.
Slightly higher risk, get a 10% annual return. You're looking at $100 million.
Okay, so
a year.
Again to perspective, if you get a terrible interest rate off $1 billion, that's still that's almost $2 million a month.
Yes,
that's $1 million every 2-week paycheck. So. I'm sorry. How many kids that are at the vending machine right now, like saying, crap, I need another $1 to get my pop, my Gatorade. And now they can what, I can not only buy this Gatorade, I can buy all the Gatorade in the state of Tennessee, and I'd still have a lot of money. You can go, and when you start driving, this is what they're doing. They're driving through neighborhoods going, I could make a phone call and buy this neighborhood.
The whole neighborhood.
And I wouldn't even notice.
Yep.
I think I might buy the next neighborhood.
It wouldn't even hurt their bank account.
Nothing. It would do nothing. It's like, I don't care. Just leave them vacant.
Yeah.
Just leave it vacant. I'm fine. That's the stupid money. So I think that's what's really hard about this whole thing. I think the NBA, there's so much money. The motivation, I don't know. I don't see it. I see Anthony Edwards. But we'll see.
The crazy thing is like your neighborhood, right? You live in a good neighborhood.
Yeah.
In a city that's growing at the fastest rate in all of Washington State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
He could buy your whole neighborhood.
No problem.
Just off the interest of the money that he makes.
Yeah, in a few months. It's just insane. It's just crazy. So how many of them are getting up at 4 a.m? I can see him doing it for the first salary. Second salary, less and less. Yeah. And that's why when they say, are they playing? I feel like I got a hurt shoulder. Look how many games Michael Jordan played on average. You look back in the day, that's how they played all the time. At Kobe's funeral, his wife spoke and said, why didn't he take time off? And he said, because I don't know if a fan came to watch me play one time. I want to make sure I let them watch me.
Yeah.
And you don't have that mentality anymore. They're thinking, I ain't going to play much. I'm not going to get sore. And if I don't make it to the playoffs, it's not the end of the world. I'm just going for salary.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's the problem. So another thing in the NBA, we've been off for a little bit, and I want to talk about this. Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes.
He has a conversation, and he just shares, he kind of drops a little fun bomb where he talks about how David Stern pulled him aside. First, he says he's talking. Then he pulls him aside, and we'll see if Drew will be able to show this part up on our clip. But he pulls him aside and he says, "Hey, before he's drafted in 1992, David Stern says, would you rather play in hot weather or cold weather?" And he says, "Hot weather." And all of a sudden, the ping pong balls fall to the Orlando Magic. Did they have the best odds to win it? No.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, they won it.
I meet Mr. Stern in March, and he says to me, "Hey, no, you are. Can't wait for you to come to the NBA." Then he pulls me to his side. "You want to play where it's cold or where it's hot?" He asked me that. Yeah, he did. He asked me that, and I was like, "Hot." And he smiled, and I smiled, and then couple of days later, they had the draft thing and, the top three things. And then Minnesota was number 3. I was like, and then Charlotte was number 2. And then Orlando, Florida was number 1. I was like, I didn't think anything about it. But, you hear a lot of these conspiracy theories. And, there's a lot of situations that could make these things sound good and sound true. Like, okay, Dallas gets rid of one of the best players. But, we're getting a new one. ding, 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 ding. So I don't want to use the word conspiracy theory, but it's very interesting how it all played out.
So this gives all the people out there in conspiracy land questions. Now I know the argument against it right now. If I was arguing against it, I would be saying, why are the Thunder and the Pacers in the finals if there's a conspiracy all the time? I think that's a legitimate argument. Yeah. But here we are. What do you think? Do you think that Shaq is onto something? And do you think something happened back in 1992?
Listen,
behind closed doors.
We talked about this. It is rigged.
Yes.
It is rigged. You're telling me. The guy from Akron, Ohio.
Yeah.
Who's the youngest star.
Hallelujah.
In the nation.
Yes.
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes.
His hometown team just happened to win the lottery that year.
Yep. The New York Knicks just happened to get Patrick Ewing back in 84. I know.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
The team that traded away their superstar in a trade that left us all scratching our heads.
Yes.
Thinking, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
Did not have great odds to win.
No,
not great odds. But somehow,
yes,
the ball drops in their favor.
Wow. And all of a sudden, Dallas Mavericks make the trade that helps the NBA with Luka going to LA, right?
Yeah.
Why would that happen, right? Why would stupid Dallas make such a stupid trade? But then they got the number 1 pick. Now they got Anthony Davis, who is going to be awesome for 45 games a year. That he's healthy. Now you got Cooper Flag. Anyway, so you're still onto the Cooper, or not the Cooper, but the conspiracy. You're into it.
Listen,
you agree with
LeBron
Shaq.
said it himself.
Yeah.
LeBron said it.
Yeah.
Which that's factual then.
Yeah.
All I gotta say.
Yeah.
All I gotta say.
Okay.
Is I actually didn't believe in the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Until Dallas happened.
Yeah.
Why Dallas is the specific one I believe, and why it changed my opinion on the whole situation.
Yeah.
Is because it wasn't based on a player going to their hometown.
Yes.
Which is like, oh, what a great experience.
Yeah.
No, it's literally based on the fact that the NBA ratings were dropping.
Yeah.
Enormously.
Yes.
At a higher rate than they ever have.
Yeah.
In the last, 60 years.
Yeah.
Right? And that team saved the NBA by bringing a superstar to the team that's the superstar of the league. Yeah. You got a superstar going to a superstar team.
Yeah.
Okay? And the ratings spiked. And everyone's, oh, yay, the Lakers are back, baby. The Lakers are back.
Yeah.
And we all stood around going, what in the heck were they thinking?
Right.
And, of course, you got a general manager who doesn't want to speak in front of the press anymore.
Yeah.
You got a team owner who's just like, I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah.
You got a basketball team that's, like, confused on what just happened.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going...
And he had a 1% chance.
Man, what a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden...
Unless he knew something.
Look who it is. The Dallas Mavericks with the number 1 pick. And just so happens... The greatest white boy Ricky is up for bid. No, exactly what happened is the NBA saved their ratings. They owed the Mavericks a favor, okay?
Yeah.
And what do people in Dallas, Texas love more than their Cowboys? They love a white boy Ricky, okay?
I was going to say barbecue, but okay.
And they went and picked up, and they're going to get Cooper Flag.
They're getting Cooper.
And they're gonna be all sorts of excited. It's Luka round 2, but he's white. Or sorry, he's
yes. That's a good call. That's good.
It's Luka round 2, but he's American this time. You know, they were already excited about Luka.
Now
think of how much more excited they are now that he's American.
Yeah. Now they got the Lakers bad pick too. So good for them. So it made no sense. It makes no sense.
Listen. That's where I draw the line.
Okay.
That's where I draw the line, Randy.
I have an idea here that I want to do. I want to talk about this next thing in the NBA.
Okay.
Okay. Thibodeau gets fired.
Yep.
Okay.
Not deserving.
I wanted you. You can tell me your thoughts, or I will let you ask me to defend the argument or to argue against it. I'll do either side.
Okay.
So you just whatever you want to do. You can either say what you want, or if you say, Randy, I want you to take this position, and I'll argue for it or against it, whatever you want. We'll have fun.
I think Thibodeau
Yeah.
did not deserve to be fired.
Okay.
I want you to argue why he did deserve to be fired.
All right. I'll take that position. Okay. The problem in the NBA is there are people that can only last so long. They rub people wrong. They're very good. They burn, and then they burn up. And then people get tired of hearing the same story over and over, especially with a rougher coach that's more hard, old school. I think he is not a guy that will ever last long in the NBA because of the way he coaches. The other thing is he kills his players. He doesn't trust his bench. He doesn't play people, and he burns people out, and they get hurt, and deep into the playoffs, they can't last long. And so I think they thought, we've got the money. We took all the players. We sold the farm for Bridges. I mean, all these players, and we're in it. And the problem is he only places 6 or 7 people, maybe 8. He burns them out, and they're never going to be able to get to the promised land. And so they think, man, we have our little window here. We're going to go for it. And I think he's going to burn these players out, and they'll never make it. So those would be my arguments. 2, Thibodeau, who has rubbed people wrong his whole career. People don't like. He's not a coach's player, player's coach. And the second is he burns his players out. So that would be my reason why I think they do it. How was that?
That's
good. I'm not saying that I totally 100% support that is the right decision, but I think that's why they did it. I hate, now on the other side, I'll just say this. I hate it when teams overreact. This is one of the stupidest things that I see in all of sports. If somebody misses a home run, hits it, and a guy jumps over the fence, catches the ball in the NL West or something, and he doesn't get the home run, and so Team B wins instead, they blow a team up and say, they couldn't make it to the World Series. Because it didn't go 2 inches further. Or a questionable call, or when somebody is knocking on the door and you change major things, that's a high risk, low reward. I think it's crazy. I wouldn't do it. But teams do it all the time. They'll say, they couldn't win the big one. They can't win. Sirianni, he can't win the big one. He can't win it. Well, you can't win it until you win it. Give the guy a chance. Give him his career. And if he's done good and won like 70%, stop badgering a person. Let him, give them little pieces that they need. What did they need? Saquon Barkley. That's what they needed. And they needed some, defensive players. So I don't know. I would more go. Now, maybe they had a conversation. They said, listen, Brunson is going to have a short career with us if you don't start subbing and all these others. Will you adjust at all? And maybe I could see Thibodeau saying, no.
I can see that.
And they're looking out there, and they're seeing the coach from the Nuggets out there right now. And I think that's where he's going to go. I think he's going to New York, and they think, all right, this guy's been a proven winner. He's won. And so that's why I think they did it. But anyway, that's why I think Thibodeau has rubbed people. He's had a career of rubbing people the wrong way. And I think players, as we talked about earlier, they make so much money. It's not like high school where you're wanting all 32 minutes. In the NBA, you're wanting the contracts. So anyway.
This is all I'd say.
Yep.
In his defense.
Yes.
He's got a great track record. I mean, he was NBA Coach of the Year in 2 separate decades. The team that they've put together is, if you look at that team, you would say, I bet you Thibodeau put that together. You would look at that team. I mean, a player like Josh Hart, that's a Thibodeau player. Right? Most teams, he's not going to be a major role player. Josh Hart wouldn't be. But for Thibodeau, that's the exact player he loves.
He's a Draymond Green.
Exactly. I don't know. This is the thing, is they move Julius Randle. They get Karl Anthony Towns. It makes a huge difference for them. They play better. They do better. They fall just short. And I don't even think they're one piece away from making it. I think they maybe are just 1 year away from making it. And now you're resetting all these players with a new coach.
With a new system. You have the same players and a new coach.
And let me be clear. Brunson was not a star before Thibodeau.
Correct. That's correct.
We don't know that Brunson gets a different coach who prefers different ball movement.
Yeah.
And
You don't. That's
he
true.
starts
That's a good
going
point.
downhill.
That's a good point.
We don't know that.
Yeah, he was a good player before the trade became a great player.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
I don't know.
So, okay. I think we should do that more often going
Yeah.
forward. I think we should give a topic, and you should just tell me, take this position, and I'll try.
I like it.
I'll do my best.
I like it.
Some of them might be really hard for me.
I will say, when you said he wears players, I was like, yeah, he definitely wears players.
Yeah. So, all right. So, I've got bad news for you.
Oh goodness.
Okay, and this is bad news.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's like good news that has really bad undertones. Okay.
Okay.
The cover of Madden is Saquon Barkley. That is like a dream for everybody to do. But I'm telling you what, I don't care whatever, we talk conspiracy, whatever it is. There is something with this absolute curse.
Listen, Al Davis said it best. Just say no, Bo.
Just say no, Bo. He's on the cover. And I think he had the player he jumped over had to come in to do.
No.
Yeah.
That was just an actor.
Are you sure?
Yes, it's just an actor.
Okay, I thought I heard that it was him.
Yeah.
Like, that
they
seems-
didn't make that poor guy go in there.
We
You know
gotta
how
look into
embarrassing
this.
That big?
We gotta look into it. 'Cause
Mom,
that
I
would be-
made it on the cover of Madden. I'm the guy getting hurdled.
I want so bad to hear that was him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he is redoing the play,
Yeah.
and it looks like it's going to be a spectacular cover. Great. But he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Right now he's in trouble because he's
so
on the
screwed.
cover. He's screwed. Do you think
The record for running backs is even worse.
I know. Yeah, running backs, you have a good year and you're done anyway. Now
Yeah.
the curtain. Anyway, is he going to break? My question for you is, do you think he's going to break the curse? Or do you think, I mean, I know you don't want to talk about this.
I
Are
can't
you
say
worried?
that.
How about this? Are you just worried?
I'm so
Because I'm going
worried.
to tell you right now, I do not want a 49er to make that cover ever.
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 I want. You know what's the sad part?
What's that?
They said the number 2 in voting was Jalen Hurts.
Oh, you were, well, yeah.
Even if
if
Saquon
one-
said no, we were still screwed.
I think I would be like, no, I don't want to be on your
Imagine
cover. I
Madden,
decline.
Imagine Madden was like, hey,
Then they move
Saquon.
on to A.J. Brown. No.
No.
We want to make a recommendation. Can you please put, and then you just say, Dak Prescott. Put him on the cover,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. No,
CeeDee Lamb.
You know
whoever,
who really deserves it in the league?
whoever your rival is.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, that's
No,
the guy.
actually, Jaden Daniels. You know, as a
Jade,
rookie,
yeah.
as a rookie,
right.
he earned it.
Yes,
he earned
that's
it.
That would have been a more legitimate thing. But yeah, that's good. Reverse psychology. So anyway, congratulations and send him flowers now. He's in trouble. I'm telling you.
I said this at one point.
McCaffrey
This was the
amazing
last thing I
and
wanted.
couldn't walk. He needed a walker
This
afterwards.
is literally the last thing I wanted. And if you're Saquon, it's not worth it.
No.
There's no way that Madden is paying you enough money to do it.
No.
It's not worth it.
No, he's...
Every single person has been like, well, I'll break the curse.
You know what? Madden should pay for an insurance policy. If they're going to
Yes.
put you on the cover, they should automatically say, we're going to give you a...
Actually, this would be so smart. This could break the
That's
curse.
in
This
the
could break
contract.
the curse.
What's that?
Saquon could go get an insurance policy on himself.
He
On
needs-
himself.
he
That's what
needs
T.
it.
Higgins did.
Yeah, but paid for by
no, sorry.
Madden.
Sorry.
Madden needs to pay for it.
It wasn't T. Higgins. It's Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, on his 5th year,
Yeah.
he took out an insurance policy
Smart.
on himself.
Yes.
That way, if he got injured,
Yeah, absolutely.
he would be fine.
Yeah, that's smart.
Saquon should do that.
Absolutely. Saquon.
I
no,
bet you that would break the curse.
I'm telling you, Madden should be the one that pays the premiums.
Well, I agree.
That should be in the contract.
I
I'll
agree.
be on there, but you do this. That's what I think. Okay, so the ratings came out. Wanted to hear what your thoughts are on the ratings. You have the best right tackle in the league, Lane Johnson. Tell me what your thoughts are with this rating system. How is he not top rated? Give me your thoughts. I can see it all over your face.
Well,
Share
here's the
where
deal.
you're at.
Here's the deal. Technically speaking, they've only confirmed that Saquon Barkley is a 99 overall.
Okay.
We can only base this off of the 25 ratings
Okay.
at this time.
Okay.
Okay. And last year in 2025, you had Derrick Henry, Justin Jefferson, Lamar Jackson, Travis Kelce, and Trent Williams. First of all, I don't agree with the Travis Kelce.
No.
Rating. And I also don't agree with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
You cannot make Lamar Jackson a 99 overall
Yeah.
when he hasn't broken a record. Derrick Henry at least makes sense. Justin Jefferson at least makes sense.
Yeah, Travis Kelce's the worst of that
Trent
group.
Williams makes sense.
Yeah, but if you're gonna put an offensive lineman there, he's the best at the position.
Yeah.
So,
but this is my problem.
Maybe he'll still be the top though for a right
Lane
tackle.
Johnson last year was a 98.
Okay.
This is all I gotta say.
Does that bother
When we
you?
have a it bothers me so much. When we have a conversation about players, right?
Yeah.
We almost always bring up the best left tackle in the league currently, which is Trent Williams. He still is.
Yeah.
He might be old. He still is. Okay. It's hands down. There's not even like another person at right tackle that you'd even put in the same conversation as Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
No, he is here.
Yeah.
And everyone else in the league, the next best guy is here.
Right.
Okay. Trent Williams, at least the next best guy is like right there.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
You got
That's
Penei
true.
Sewell, right? There's guys right there with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And if you look at their stats, they might play on the opposite side of the ball, but you couldn't tell a difference.
No.
Their stats are almost identical.
And he plays every game all the time and has done this for years.
And this overall rating isn't based on the position you play
Yeah.
and how valuable that position is.
I wonder if
It's based on how well you play at the position.
Do you think that rating though is based on like they only give certain positions 99s?
I mean, you're going to give a tight end a 99. They actually had two tight ends right next to each other. You had Travis Kelce at 99 and George Kittle at 98. Which I like George Kittle, but 98's a little steep.
I mean, when you're talking
I'd
90,
say 96, 97 would
no,
make more
I
sense.
would say 99s.
99 should be a player where you're looking at them playing right now and you're like, they're going to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
You look at Derrick Henry in the season he just came off, you're no question saying he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I hear you.
I'm not saying he's a first ballot.
So what do you think? You don't know what he is then. You just know he's not a 99 is what they're saying?
Well, he was a 98 last year. We know that.
Yeah.
We don't know. They could change their mind for this year.
Okay. Well,
but it's going to really piss me off if they
you
don't.
know what you need to do is when this comes out and if he's a 98, you need to just go to ESPN Classic, put on the game last year, and watch the Super Bowl celebration and say, screw you, Madden.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I get it. I understand.
I just don't like
It's because a lot of times these aren't even sports people doing it.
Yeah, it's the same thing with PFF.
Yeah.
PFF drives me insane.
PFF has some good things and some things
of their
make
stuff,
no sense.
Some of their stuff you're like, wow, they really hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And then some of their stuff you're like, who wrote this?
Yeah.
Like PFF just put one out for defensive tackles the other day.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter wasn't even in the top 10.
That's insane.
In what world do you live? Okay,
I don't know.
Let me just put this in perspective.
I do not understand
Let me just put this in perspective.
Yeah.
The guy who was his backup, he was his backup.
Well,
Just got paid over $100 million.
Yeah. His backup.
His backup.
So, yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Another thing that doesn't make any sense is the off season for certain football players. What they do in their own time. I've heard of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but I think they were maybe in Florida.
They were.
They're in Florida. Yeah. So what happens in Florida and people are watching you in Florida doesn't stay in Florida.
No.
So apparently, Stephon Diggs was out on the boat, right?
Yeah.
And either he was, baking cookies and he, had a little oven out there and he had some flour, or he might have had some pink substance or something and he might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
So,
well, we're guessing it's Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah,
Kool-Aid?
it could be, I don't know, Lucky Charms broken up. I don't know what it is. Tell me what your thoughts, what happened and all that good stuff.
I don't know. The video in general is odd. First of all, if you're a football player, your eyes should always be at who's videoing me. If you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, there's no excuse for you not to know someone's videoing you.
Yeah.
If let's just say I perhaps want to partake in smoking weed, okay? If I am a football player and I know that I'm not supposed to do that, I'm probably going to be very apparent of my surroundings while smoking weed.
Right. Yeah.
He pulls out a baggie of pink cocaine.
Yes. Allegedly. Yes.
Right in front of someone. The camera couldn't have been more than 3 feet from him. What are you thinking?
I don't know. These guys are so stupid.
And the worst part about it all
I want to hear what it is.
this guy's dating Cardi B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He actually started dating her while she was like 7 months pregnant. That's a whole different story.
Yeah, no, that relationship's got hopes for long-term success.
Yeah. And he's on this boat. Supposedly Cardi B's on the boat as well. We don't see her in the video.
I could see that. She likes Lucky Charms Crush, too.
Yeah. Anyways, he's got 3 ladies around him
Yeah.
in the midst of this drug showing.
Yeah.
And they're all like calling him daddy
Yeah.
and talking about a twerking competition.
Yes. It was Twister, but go ahead.
Twister competition. Anyways. But, I mean, what are these people doing? You're dating a superstar rap artist.
Yep.
And now you're going to put on camera as well these ladies talking to you in a manner that you should never talk to someone who's not your spouse.
Right. No, it reminds me of that whole thing where they said, which one of the players on your team would you not want? I think it was you would not want your daughter to date. You know, everybody Diggs. Was it me? Yeah. What? Well, this is why.
Yeah.
This is why. So
I mean, just like,
I don't know that anything will ever come from it.
have a little sense.
No,
you know?
no.
Well, I'm sure that when he showed up for OTAs and then like the next 3 days, I'm sure the New England Patriots took their time to drug test him.
So my question is, how long? If he is, and that is in his system, and he says, "Hey, I ain't showing up to OTAs," does he not have to take the drug test?
Well, it's voluntary. He doesn't have to.
Yeah. So I think if I'm him and I'm his agent, I'd say, hey, you might want to extend
Well,
this
he
vacation.
did show up, and I actually said this when the news first broke. He did show up, and most likely he's at least smart enough to either know how to, 1, clean the drugs out of his system in a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
or 2, he wasn't even using them. He was just had them on him
Right.
in the situation
Yeah.
as like a party favor for others.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these people are, I think.
It's funny how you're smart enough to do those two, one of those two options, but you're not smart enough to not see that someone's videoing you from like 3 feet away.
I don't know. These guys are so, sometimes, some of these players, that's why Diggs is not a guy I'd want on my team.
Yeah. I mean, this is
It's a maturity thing, and it's a.
Imagine if Bill Belichick was still coaching this team.
He wouldn't be on it right now.
No.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway. And Mike Vrabel, I like Mike Vrabel.
I do too.
But if I'm Mike right now, I'm setting an example.
Yeah.
I am hanging him from the crossbars and letting the kicker kick his remaining field goals for the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's either that or you're off the team.
You have to make an example of anybody that's doing anything like this because you are killing your chances to win. And New England, they're not going to win a Super Bowl. But I said previously in our last podcast, I think they have one of the best off seasons in the league.
Yeah, but they screwed up in 2 major ways. One, you let him not show up for voluntary practice.
Yeah.
And then he was caught on a boat, not rehabbing his knee like he's supposed to be.
Yeah, Diggs is not the guy that I think is the greatest pickup. He's a talent, but their offensive line and some of the other things they did. But no,
so now you're telling players it's okay to not show up for voluntary practices and go hang out on a boat.
Yeah.
And you're telling players, hey, if you get caught doing a little drugs, we're not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's 2 very bad examples.
Vrabel's got some things to figure out. So
most people say strike 3 and you're out. I'm going 2 and you're done.
Yeah. Does he get to start over when he gets traded to a team? Does he get to start afresh?
I think so.
Because otherwise his career, he's got a lot of strikeouts.
He's got a lot of strikeouts.
Okay. Well, we'll see what's going on. We got game 1's tomorrow night.
Yep.
As of when we're recording this, and so we'll see how things go.
5:30, I think.
We'll hope that we have a good series. I think it's cool for the small market teams that they're able to make it. We'll see where the NBA goes forward. I'm real curious. I want to see what the ratings are. I really am curious what the ratings are going to be. I would not be buying into NBA teams right now. Just me, I wouldn't. NFL, yes. NBA, nope.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next time. We'll try to see if we can put out some shorts. Also, please hit the subscribe button. Again, quickly, if you've not done it, please do it. Follow us. We just really appreciate it. We thank you to everybody. Means a great deal to us. Let's get some subscribers this week. Thank you for your support.